and his executive committee on this gathering, which has been put together to again empower and bless us for this task ahead and for constantly lifting up the banner of Egbe district all over Foursquare. I want to thank our men. By the grace of God, Egbe district, everywhere they mention, rings a bell. And I want to thank God that the men are not left out. The men are not left out. You have been playing your part, and nobody will take your position in the name of Jesus. For exigency of time, you have chosen a team which is highly instructive. This team is highly instructive. It's the fourth man in the fire. Taken from the book of Daniel chapter 3, verse 24 to 25. We just read it. And Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20 to 21. At such a time of great hardship and suffering in our land. This is a time there's so much fire in the land of Nigeria. So this team is highly instructive. And I believe by the grace of God, somebody will get something out of it in the name of Jesus. What we do as men when faced with a kind of depressing situation, we find ourselves. What do we do as men with the kind of depressing situation we find ourselves? Are we to bow down to the idols of unbelievers and join them to begin to do evil? In the book of Daniel chapter 3, we see three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were not special men. There was nothing special about them. It was not as if they were men that had 2 heads and 4 legs. They had 1 head, they had 2 legs as you have, they had 2 hands as you have. Thrown into the very furnace for refusing to bow down and worship the idols set up by King Nebuchadnezzar. And they saw the miraculous appearance of the 4th man, described by the pagan king as like the Son of God. 3 men were thrown into the furnace, but the king who threw them in suddenly saw a 4th man walking in the midst of the fire. And he said, I see a 4th man like the Son of God walking in the midst of them. This narrative is interpreted as a symbol of God's presence and protection during the times of hardship and suffering, emphasizing that even in the midst of trials, believers are not alone and that God will be there. I want to announce to every man under my voice, I don't know the challenge you are facing, whether in your marriage, whether in your business, whatever is confronting you, you are not alone. Can you help me tell your neighbor, you are not alone? I want you to know that God is with you. Many people commit suicide because they don't know that God is with them. The presence of God is going with you wherever you are going. And that one should be an assurance, an encouragement at every time that God will always be with you. This team, which exploits the virtue of faith, those 3 Hebrew men had faith. Obedience. They say we would rather obey God than men. God's protection and the presence of Jesus in our lives should be an encouragement to every man. These 4 things, that you have the presence of God going with you wherever you go, should be an encouragement. It means that you cannot fail. It means that you cannot fail. Obedience, that you are